Welcome to the deep dive. It's really quite incredible how the most familiar, everyday things can suddenly unlock this whole new way of seeing global trends and, well, cultural shifts.
It really is.
And today we're taking a deep dive into something you might honestly not think twice about. The humble bento box in Taiwan.
Right, the lunchbox.
Exactly. But it's rapidly evolving. It's becoming much more than just a simple meal. It's turning into this fascinating mirror of these big societal movements, health, sustainability, digital convenience. It's all in there.
That's spot on. And our mission for this deep dive really is to unpack that fascinating evolution of Taiwan's bento culture. We're going to be digging into the key insights that show how this seemingly simple lunch choice actually reflects these broader transformations in society.
So not just what's changing, but why.
Precisely. By the end, you'll get the why behind these shifts, what they really mean for the bigger picture of how people are living and eating today.
Okay, and I think you can expect some genuine aha moments here. This deep dive, it's kind of a shortcut to being really well informed about this pretty remarkable culinary and cultural revolution that's happening.
Definitely some surprises in store.
So let's dig in. Okay, let's unpack this then. For generations, the bento in Taiwan has been just an absolute staple, hasn't it?
Oh, completely. A constant.
Yeah, we're talking everything from, school kids with their metal lunch trays, those classic ones.
Yep, remember those.
To busy office workers just grabbing a quick, affordable meal from local shop. It's always been there. Dependable.
Mm-hmm.
But what's really striking, as we've been looking into this, is how profoundly this traditional item is being reshaped. There's this growing awareness of health.
Yeah,
right?
huge.
And a big push for sustainability. Plus, you just can't ignore the digital side of things, digital convenience. From your perspective, is there like one single biggest driver? Or is it all mixed together?
That's a great question. And honestly, I think it's less about one single thing and more about a confluence, a coming together of these deeply ingrained values.
Okay.
What's really fascinating here is how these shifts aren't just about, what you're having for lunch. They're mirroring a much broader societal move towards more conscious consumption and highly personalized experiences.
Right, so people aren't just grabbing food anymore.
Exactly. They're making intentional choices, thinking about what they consume, how it hits their body, and increasingly how it impacts the planet too. It's like a statement of values packed in a lunchbox.
A statement of values in a lunchbox. I like that. That makes perfect sense. And speaking of values, one of the most, striking transformations seems to be how health has really moved front and center.
Absolutely central now.
So if I were to walk into a modern bento shop today, maybe somewhere busy in Taipei or even down south in Kaohsiung, what's the first thing that would jump out at me? What would scream health-focused compared to, say, 10 years ago?
Okay, yeah. You'd immediately notice a really visible shift away from the traditional mountains of deep-fried stuff.
Oh, okay. Less beige.
Exactly. Less beige, more green. Instead, you'd see just a proliferation of grilled proteins. Think like lean chicken breast or maybe perfectly seared fish. Lots of fresh, colorful vegetables. An abundance, really. And a wider array of carb choices, too. Things like low GI rice or even quinoa are becoming common.
Wow, quinoa in a bento.
Yeah. The whole visual landscape of the bento counter, it's just transformed into something much lighter, much more vibrant.
So it's not just a little tweak then. It sounds like a complete overhaul of what's on offer.
It really is.
And you mentioned low GI rice. How far does this health consciousness actually go? Are we talking about people literally tracking their macros for their lunch orders?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. The nutritional awareness is, it's on a dramatic rise. For many people, especially maybe gym goers or those with specific wellness goals, it's definitely about pre-ordering meals that meticulously fit their macro requirements.
Really? Like specific grams of protein?
Yep. You've got high protein options designed for muscle building, low carb variations if you're managing weight, even specialized post-workout recovery boxes. The whole mindset for these individuals is clear.
Yeah.
Eating right has become just as important as training right. Their bento isn't just lunch anymore.
It's part of the program.
It's an integral part of their entire wellness routine.
Yeah. And it's not just about what's in the box, right? But also what's on the menu descriptions. I've heard about a real increase in transparency there. Is that just buzzwords or is it genuinely helpful info?
No, it's genuinely helpful, I'd say. Labels like high fiber, no preservatives, clear calorie counts, these are becoming pretty standard.
Okay.
Some shops even use color-coded calorie levels,
Yeah.
makes it incredibly easy for you to see exactly what you're getting at a glance.
That's useful.
And this transparency, it gets amplified by social media too, right? You see influencers sharing clean eating tips, portion control ideas, showing off their bento choices.
Right, right.
But what's really telling, I think, is the common dialogue you actually overhear. Among young office workers or fitness folks, you'll hear them debating, okay, I need at least 30 grams of protein in this, or careful, that one's got too many carbs.
Really?
That's specific.
Oh, yeah. It just underscores Taiwan's broader focus on health and wellness. Integrating fitness and, mindful eating into daily life is just, it's becoming the norm.
It sounds like a complete lifestyle integration, not just some fleeting diet trend. That's a huge shift.
It is.
But this focus on personal health, it often seems to go hand in hand with another massive wave hitting the bento scene, this growing demand for sustainability. What's the most visible sign of that eco-conscious shift when it comes to bento?
Well, it's definitely moved from being sort of a niche concern to something really mainstream.
Yeah.
You'll actually see office workers actively bringing their own reusable containers to the bento shops.
Oh, cool. Like Tupperware? Yeah, exactly, to avoid the plastic waste. And there's also a really noticeable increase in brands making a point of offering biodegradable packaging. It's a proactive shift, and it seems largely consumer-driven. It's gaining real traction.
That's fantastic to hear. But the real game changer, maybe, sounds like those innovative circular systems for the containers themselves. How do those actually work? It sounds kind of complex logistically.
They are pretty clever. It's really about leveraging technology to create this whole ecosystem. You've got apps now that actively promote the idea of container return.
How so?
Well, customers drop off their used boxes at designated spots, right?
Right.
Then these are collected, professionally washed, sanitized, and put back into circulation for reuse.
Wow.
And this isn't just a concept, it's being implemented with actual tangible solutions like automated bento return stations you can find in universities or busy business districts.
So it's easy for people.
Exactly. It removes a lot of the friction, makes it incredibly easy for people to adopt these sustainable lunch habits without a huge effort on their part. It's a brilliant example of how, convenience can actually drive eco-friendly behavior.
That is clever. And it's not just about the containers, is it? The sources also mention food waste. Is that part of this sustainability push too?
Absolutely. Food waste is, it's a massive environmental issue everywhere, and some new bento brands are tackling it quite innovatively.
Now,
They're offering mini sets, smaller portions basically, specifically designed for lighter appetites.
oh, that's hard.
Yeah, it directly reduces leftovers. It's a smart move that also promotes mindful eating habits, kind of encourages consumers to order only what they actually need, and that minimizes waste. It's about being conscious, really, from prep right through to consumption.
So, okay, we've covered health, we've covered sustainability, and then there's the whole digital revolution. How has technology truly transformed the experience of getting a bento in Taiwan?
Oh, it's a complete game changer. Just for convenience alone, ordering your lunch now is often just, a few taps away.
On your phone?
Yeah, whether you're using messaging apps like Line, they have these integrated order bots, or dedicated meal subscription services.
Subscription boxes for bento?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So office workers can pre-order their lunch and just grab it without waiting in line. Or they can even schedule like an entire week's worth of balanced meals to be delivered right to their desk.
Whoa.
It's a level of efficiency and sheer convenience that was pretty much unimaginable just a few years back.
That sounds like next level convenience, honestly.
Yeah.
And this idea of personalization, you mentioned tailoring meals earlier. How deep does that customization actually go? Are we talking truly bespoke meals, or is it more like just a few extra options?
It goes surprisingly deep, actually, and that's thanks to that digital backbone we were just talking about. Bento delivery services, many of them, allow for really extensive customization based on your individual health goals. You can specify low carb, vegan, gluten-free, or even, as we said, meals designed for muscle gain with precise protein targets.
Wow.
Some services even partner up with registered nutritionists or fitness trainers to craft entire meal plans, tailored to longer-term goals.
That's incredible.
It is, and it kind of raises an important question, doesn't it? How does this level of customization change our fundamental relationship with food?
Yeah.
Good question. Does it, enhance our connection, make us more mindful of what we eat, or does it risk turning food into just data-driven fuel?
Potentially diminishing the joy or the cultural aspect of sharing meals.
That's a really insightful point, something many of us are probably grappling with, even outside of Bento, right?
It's a fascinating dynamic, and it's definitely still evolving. So just to wrap up this section then, what we're seeing is that lunch in Taiwan is becoming not just incredibly convenient, but also profoundly personalized and increasingly data-driven. It's this powerful intersection of tech and, well, our most basic needs.
Well put.
Now, let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk flavor. With all these trends pushing towards health and customization, is it all becoming like new age health food? Or are the traditional Taiwanese staples still holding their ground in the bento box?
It's actually a wonderful blend of both, which is great. The beloved traditional Taiwanese dishes, they still proudly dominate. You'll absolutely find delicious staples like braised pork rice.
Oh, Lu Ro fan, classic.
Exactly. Or fragrant 3-cup chicken, maybe perfectly grilled teriyaki mackerel. Those are still cornerstone options.
Okay, good.
But what's really exciting is how these international fusions are increasingly making their way into the bento box rotation. It adds this fantastic layer of culinary diversity.
That blend sounds fascinating. It shows a real sort of culinary confidence, maybe. How does Taiwan manage to integrate these global flavors? You mentioned things like Korean kimchi or Mediterranean hummus, while still staying true to its own bento identity, which is so, fundamentally rice-based.
Yeah, that's a great observation. It's really a testament to Taiwan's culinary openness, I think, and its ingenious ability to adapt flavors.
Well, what does that look like?
Well, you're seeing examples like maybe Korean kimchi wraps integrated into a section, or flavorful Thai curry boxes, or even Mediterranean hummus bowls served alongside rice or other elements.
Ah, okay, so it's integrated within the bento structure.
Exactly. They're often presented in a way that still feels familiar within that bento format, maybe still centered around rice or noodles, but with distinct sections for these different components. This global-local mix, it reflects both Taiwan's eagerness to embrace the world and its enduring love for those rice-based meals.
So the result is lunch that feels familiar, but also kind of fresh and modern.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Comforting yet exciting.
And speaking of that comforting, familiar aspect, I found it really interesting how ingrained lunch planning is socially, like in Taiwanese offices. Can you tell us a bit more about that? What are you getting for lunch dynamic? It sounds quite charming.
Oh, it really is. It's a delightful part of the daily routine in many places. In a lot of Taiwanese offices, it's super common for coworkers to ask each other just casually, hey, what are you getting for lunch? Or maybe suggest ordering together from a particular place.
So it's a group activity.
Often, yeah. It's not just practical, figuring out food. It's a natural part of the daily conversation. It often sparks these lighthearted debates or the shared decision-making process about where to order from.
Nice.
And this casual lunch planning, it genuinely helps build camaraderie. It offers this quick, lighthearted connection point during what can be a really busy workday. It's just a small, but I think significant detail of how food brings people together there.
Yeah, that social glue aspect. Very cool. All right, so you've absorbed a ton of great insights about Taiwan's evolving bento culture. Now, as we've been deep diving into these fascinating trends, you probably heard some specific terms come up quite a bit. These aren't just buzzwords. They're really the language of modern food culture in Taiwan. And knowing them will definitely help you sound like you've really been paying attention to these shifts. So let's do a little Talk Bento Like a Pro segment.
Sounds good. Let's make sure you're fully equipped. Okay, first up, the obvious one, bento. You definitely know it now as a packed meal, often in a box, super common traditional meal format across East Asia.
Right. So you might say,
I try to bring a healthy bento to work every day, carefully portioned.
got it. Okay, next.
Next, a term you see a lot on those health-focused menus. High fiber. This just refers to foods that contain a good amount of dietary fiber, which we know is crucial for digestive health.
And an example.
You'll often see things like, these high-fiber meals support sustained energy throughout the afternoon. Something like that.
Makes sense. Okay.
Then there's no preservatives. This label is gaining a lot of importance for consumers looking for more natural options. It simply means the food's made without artificial chemical preservatives. For instance, a shop might advertise, this lunchbox is proudly labeled no preservatives to ensure freshness.
Clear. And the calorie counting.
Ah, yes, calories, the standard unit measuring the energy content of food. Now, as we said, prominently displayed on many bento menus for transparency.
So you'd see.
The label clearly shows this bento has 520 calories, making it easy to track your intake. Straightforward.
Yep. What about diet terms?
Okay, carbs, short for carbohydrates, right? A macronutrient found in lots of foods, often managed for dietary goals.
Common topic.
Very common. You'll hear she's carefully cutting back on carbs for her fitness goals, opting for more protein instead.
Which brings us to
Protein. Crucial for anyone building muscle or recovering from exercise, it's the nutrient vital for building muscle-repairing tissue.
and in a bento context.
A popular bento might boast, this bento includes 30 grams of protein perfect after a morning gym session. That's specific.
Okay. Then there was that rice term.
Right, low GI. This refers to foods with a low glycemic index. Basically, they don't cause that rapid spike in blood sugar.
Useful for.
Yeah, useful info. An example, low GI rice is a popular choice now, generally better for people managing their sugar intake.
Got it. And that overall eating style.
Clean eating. A popular dietary philosophy really emphasizes consuming whole, minimally processed foods.
How would you hear that used?
You'll find that many office workers now really focus on clean eating during lunch, avoiding processed snacks and stuff.
Okay. And managing amounts.
That would be portion control, simply managing how much food is eaten per meal, usually to maintain health goals.
So someone might say.
She uses strict portion control to maintain her weight and energy levels. Makes sense.
And prepping ahead.
Meal prep. Big time saver for busy people. It's just the practice of preparing meals in advance, often for the whole week, helps ensure consistent, healthy eating.
Like on Sundays.
Exactly. He dedicates Sundays to meal prep for the whole week, including all his bento lunches. Common practice.
Right. And the customization aspect.
The word is customizable, just means it can be changed or adjusted to suit individual needs or preferences.
For example.
Their bento menu is fully customizable. You can add tofu, remove the rice, swap vegetables, pretty much anything you need, that level of flexibility.
And finally, for plant-based diets.
Vegan-friendly. Describes food that doesn't include any animal products at all, reflects that growing dietary diversity.
So you don't see.
You might see a description like, this vegan-friendly lunchbox includes a delicious mix of tofu, fresh veggies, and nuts.
Fantastic. Okay, I feel much more fluent in bento now. With those terms in your vocabulary, you really are fully equipped to discuss these evolving food trends, how they impact daily life, especially when it comes to this whole bento revolution in Taiwan.
Definitely gives you the language to talk about it. So just to kind of reiterate the core insight from today's deep dive, the bento in Taiwan, it really isn't just a convenient packed lunch anymore, is it?
Not at all.
It's truly become a reflection of these new, powerful societal values, that commitment to health, a dedication to sustainability, this desire for personalization, and an increasingly global palate. It's like a microcosm of how modern society is transforming.
One meal at a time.
One meal at a time, exactly.
Exactly. So thinking about all this, what does it all mean for you listening right now? Maybe the next time you open your own lunchbox, wherever you are, or even just consider your food choices for the day. Take a moment. Ask yourself not just what's in it, but maybe why you chose it. Consider how your everyday food choices might reflect your own values and maybe the larger trends shaping the world around you too.
That's a powerful thought to end on. If you're truly looking to learn through everyday things, maybe lunch is your next best teacher.
What a delicious and genuinely insightful deep dive this has been. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
And we really encourage you to keep exploring the world around you, one surprising fact, or maybe one tasty bento box at a time.